Hello, I'm Elijah Henderson with Cryptid Studies Institute. As in the past, when we become aware of a new sighting or encounter, or even an old one for that matter, we'll do our very best to bring you a mini report or episode that we've taken to calling Nightmare Nuggets. Many of our reports come from Tennessee and Kentucky and throughout Appalachia, but we will not only be reporting from there, we will definitely report from further out. But we're trying to take care of some of the closest ones first, and believe me, there's a lot. Following up on our report on the carcass-carrying Bigfoot, I believe that it would be wrong not to present this encounter to you. Just around 3 to 5 miles from the location where our witness Wanda from the carcass-carrying Bigfoot minisode had her experience, a family contacted us to come to their home and have a look around because they'd become frightened and uneasy because of a rather large and terrifying visitor that had come calling. The homeowner, his name is Rick, and he is a well-known musician in the Nashville country music scene, and he has played with many of country music's greatest performers, so I'll not be giving his last name for the sake of privacy. Rick contacted Cryptid Studies Institute between 2005 and 2007 to come out and have a look around. For a while before the actual encounter, strange things had been taking place on his property, like loud crashing sounds, like something large slapping the outside of his house, or a fruit tree that was burdened down so heavily with fruit that the limbs were sagging, overnight was stripped naked of all of its bountiful yield. There wasn't even any stray fruits on the ground where they may have fallen. Many such things plagued Rick and his family, but he largely ignored it until the night that his young son was in the backyard riding his four-wheeler round and round the track in his yard. The young man had done this quite often and had never had a problem before, but this night something seemed off, and as he continued to make the circuit round his backyard track, he had to pass over a portion that went past a thickly wooded thicket that led to a much denser forest area, and standing at the edge of this wooded thicket was a massive creature standing there watching him as he made one revolution after another in his yard. The young man said that the creature was covered in thick, dark hair, and was impossibly tall, standing 9 or even 10 feet easily, because it was probably a head taller than his basketball goal. Terrified, the young gentleman abandoned his four-wheeler and headed for the safety of his home. At Rick's behest, we came out and launched an investigation, and found what appeared to be a shelter of woven shrubberies off in the forest, the body of a large dead cow. I still have the skull to this day, and right where the boys saw the bestial peeping Tom was a large stump with a rock set on top that was so heavy that one of our larger teammates could barely budge it. Someone or something had placed the sizable boulder atop it, but for what reason? Rick said that neither he nor any member of the family had done it. Rick continued to have issues for the rest of the time that he lived at this location. He could hear large thudding footfalls as something would run through the forest behind his home. The deer in the area would avoid the forest and walk along the road rather than walk in the woods. Rick and his friend came in late one night and could hear something growling in such a deep-chested growl that both men stated that it would almost have taken an African lion to growl that deeply. Rick's property is only about 5 miles from the river bottoms, where another individual stated that he had witnessed a group of what he could only describe as Bigfoots hunting and killing deer that they'd been stalking. Sadly, this witness did not want to be interviewed in an official capacity. In the same region, a member of a work crew that cleared power lines for the TVA stated that they and another member of the team were walking in the woods one day at work, and as they got close to a thicket of brush, they heard something large jump up and start running off on what sounded like 2 legs, breaking large trees as it went. The most disturbing thing to them was the raspy, ragged breathing as it ran away. Neither of them had actually seen what ran away, but both were convinced that it was a Sasquatch. For whatever reason, the Ashland City/Cheatham County area has had an unusually high number of sightings and activity. Hopefully one day we will be able to find and have an encounter with one of these elusive creatures from this area. Until then, though, I'm Elijah Henderson, and I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Nightmare Nuggets of Cryptid Terror. If you do like these true accounts in miniature episode form, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Cryptid Studies Institute. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, go look at our website, and if you'd like to be a guest on our blog talk radio show, we'd love to have you. Or if you've had an encounter with some kind of a cryptid like a Sasquatch, a dogman, a skinwalker, or something else altogether, or even some sort of a supernatural experience and you'd like to tell us about it, we'd love to hear it. If you'd like for us to read your account for you, then please drop us a line and we'll make that happen. See you next time.